right? We do it for the banter. But when we come outside of our home and we are being showcased as Ghana, this is not the time to be doing any movement. This is not the time to be raining insults on any artist, because it speaks bad about us as a country than it does about the artist. If you don't know, I'm telling you this for a fact. That's just what it is. So the minute you come with that, your nonsense negativity and being bad vibes and just everything about that Stonebwoy thing, I just felt like, oh my God, Stonebwoy does not deserve that.
The matter job hot. Assembly diloto. Hey! Aye!
After the concert in London, that is on the 8th of March, there's been so many conversations. While some are picking trolls, or while some are using them as bullets of insult to others, others are also picking lessons from it. Today, this particular edition is going to be an editorial, and my sister, or one lady that I've come to know on the internet, that is Ohemaa Asante, has raised some good points that I think we should all trumpet and let it sink down well into some of the brains and the hearts in the industry, so we can all take a cue from it. What is Ohemaa Asante saying that I would want to trumpet or reiterate? This is an editorial live on Roland Report, and yes, I know the environment has changed. Thanks to Director Wolves, who says he's giving me a different steez. But if you are watching, make sure you subscribe, share your views in the comment section. Shagzy and Tetekwasi Ad Market is holding us down on this particular episode. So, what did Ohemaa Asante say? So, Ohemaa Asante was on live on TikTok, and she just cut snippets of it, came to post on Instagram. And before I play that particular video to you, she gave a caption to that particular post, and I would want to read it out to you. What did she say? She said, "The agenda for change requires a collective effort. The hypocrites and the people dragging Ghana artist's name through the mud, sake of I belong to Camp A or Camp B, contribute to the struggle the industry is facing. It is imperative we know when to be competitive and when to unite to push Ghana up the ladder. The odds are already against us as it is. When our artists mount any international stage, that is time to activate the unite and build approach. It is the responsibility of every single artist to educate their hardcore fans to play the game and play it well, and to do away with the divide and conquer approach. It is extremely boring and embarrassing. It is time to unlearn and put your business hat on. Some of the fans have missed the mark totally, and in the grand scheme of things, Ghana music is giving games and gimmicks. A win for a Ghanaian artist is a win for Ghana. A loss for a Ghanaian artist is a loss for Ghana." Well, this is the caption that she gave. And as such, like I said, she made this caption with a video. I want us to go and watch the video. When we come back, we have a long discussion on this particular conversation.
Why should we come to a Stonebwoy show when we can go to a show that is already housing some of the major artists in Ghana? Stonebwoy has done performances in this country before, and I've never seen him graft as hard as he has. Yeah. The way he did it this time around is how it should be for a show, full stop. The strategy that Stonebwoy used, especially this Saturday, was probably one of the best ways to ever promote your show as a Ghanaian artist. You already had a show that is culturally accepted, a show that was already happening and happens every year, that normally does really well in terms of numbers. What can you do, or how do you sell your product? Because obviously as an artist, you're a product. How do you put yourself out there to make yourself attractive? Why should we come to a Stonebwoy show where we can go to a show that is already housing some of the major artists in Ghana? What can you do differently? And he did what he had to do. He was constant. His presence on social media was so loud. Already he has that in check. He has a very good social media presence. I mean, I was very impressed because every day, at least every day, you see a sponsored ad, an email or notification actively posting something. So you get on your feed, you will hear about it, you will know about it, you'll be forced to see it. He obviously came down and did the groundswork. He pushed himself to the radio stations, talks with BBC One Extra. When we went to DJ AG, we all saw the display of ignorance that some of our Ghanaians displayed. When I tuned in, it had about 19,000 people watching. So just imagine, you're about to do a show. You've gone on a platform that has 19,000 people. You're already a good performer. You're very out there with your product. You don't think that you're going to win some of that crowd? It's a strategic planning. He needed to do that. And that was one of the best things that he ever did in my eyes. And that was necessary. Like I said, this is the kind of way that artists should be promoting themselves. You don't just need to wait to do it when there's competition. You do it regardless. AG has different caliber of the music industry lot watching him, because this thing that he does on the streets is for the culture. And since he started doing it, he has broken barriers. He has gone so far with it. The recognition that he has received is not child's play. That out of the 19,000 people that were watching him, how do you know that, maybe 5% are not investors? So imagine you're watching somebody perform. As soon as an investor, I'll be like, whoa, who is this? Let me go and check in the comments and see what the people are saying about Stonebwoy. Then I get to the comments and I see all these comments about, oh, he's this, he's that. The insults that are being rained on him. You think as an investor, I will waste my time? Because one, I have already established that person comes from a country that doesn't have unity. I know that, yes, sometimes a little bit of banter here and there is good for the industry. We get it. But Ghanaians don't have this foresight to see that, okay, when it comes to clashing, or when it comes to like the culture clash, or artist clashing, yes, we keep it on the stage, we keep it within ourselves as a community, right? We do it for the banter. But when we come outside of our home and we are being showcased as Ghana, this is not the time to be doing any movement. This is not the time to be raining insults on any artist, because it speaks bad about us as a country than it does about the artist. If you don't know, I'm telling you this for a fact. That's just what it is. So the minute you come with that, your nonsense negativity and being bad vibes and just everything about that Stonebwoy thing, I just felt like, oh my God, Stonebwoy does not deserve that. Let's just call a spade and be honest for once. What he has done is put Ghana on the map constantly, consistently, consecutively. He's done it over and over again. Everywhere Stonebwoy goes, he's reigning the flag of Ghana. Put aside the fact that you don't like him because maybe you're a Shatta fan and you love Shatta so much that you hate everybody else. Put that aside for a minute. Put aside the fact that you're a Sark native and you love Sark so much that you don't F with anybody else. Put that aside for a minute. The fact that it's music banter, what has the man done to you? You, the person that you're typing nonsense, what has he done to you? He has brought music, and music is what connects it. It enters the people's soul and we vibe with it. This is how sometimes I read comments, I'm like, you are a hater, full stop. He is representing Ghana. This is the point I'm trying to make. Stonebwoy cuts across, He doesn't, do you know the amount of features that he has? Stonebwoy's catalog, yeah? Stonebwoy has one of the best music catalogs in Ghana. Facts. Go and do your research. If we're talking music and we're talking talent and we're talking work and we're talking somebody who has proven time and time again that he's a performer, he's an artist, he's everything that contributes to an artist being a certain level. Let's just think musically. It is revolting. It's such a silly behavior and character. Let's know when to be competitive and let's know when to be for the culture. And I think that's what some of the Ghanaian people miss. They don't know the balance between the two. So I'm sure Stonebwoy will go on, I don't know, like BBC and having a common interview, putting Ghana on the map, talking about Ghana, and somebody will still come and hate. I don't know what they want. I don't know what they are looking for.
Okay, so there's bits and pieces of that particular video or the live by Ohemaa Asante, and of course I would want to share my view on it. You see, I totally agree with Ohemaa when she makes some of these points. In fact, sometimes it is very sad when an artist or somebody from Ghana is winning out there and it looks as if all the feedbacks or most of the feedbacks coming from this side that are supposed to support the person are rather negative. Sometimes it feels sad, or it is sad, a very sad situation. But you see, just like she said, everybody has a stake in this problem. Everybody, from the artist to the fans, including the media. For me, I am very particular about the media in this conversation, aside the artist and the fans. You see, thanks to social media, now the fans also have a voice, of which, with or without the media, they can still be heard. But I also believe that the media still has some form of validation power, of which we also serve as a bridge, or maybe a speaker and a microphone between the artist and the fans. So whatever the artist does, when the media trumpets it, that is what the fans feed on. Whatever the fans say, when the media trumpets it, that is what the artists say. So this is where I see the problem. It is unfortunate that, yes, as fans and fanatics, they would want to protect their idol. They would want to protect their favorite and stuff. That one is understandable, of which sometimes they may go overboard, make certain statements that may not sit well with the other camp or the opposite camp. But you see, the unfortunate situation is when we have some people who sit on huge media platforms and also propagate these kind of ignorances. And that is where some of us have a problem. A win should be celebrated and not used as a weapon of insult to anybody. And you see the example that Ohemaa Asante made when using Stonebwoy's show recently as a case study. That is apt. But unfortunately, there are some people that when it is beneficial to them, they won't. I mean, Ohemaa Asante, you are talking about the fact how sad it is to see some of these comments on Stonebwoy. But you see, yes, it's a kuku di jaya. Keke no sometimes will also stop. For me, I also felt sad when after this particular win for Ghana music, I saw some of his close people, even before the event, attacking others even before the win. And after the win, what are we seeing? Some people are being called haters. Some people are being called all sorts of names. Some people even had the tag sabotage and all of that. So at the end of the day, who exactly are you going to blame? Because the other people that may also want to trash whatever effort that these people are putting up out there would also say, yes, we also have a point. We also have a stake in it. Because you see, a typical example is how this whole conversation started as far as this Ghana's independent shows in London are concerned. From the beginning of this conversation, a personality like you, Ohemaa Asante, did a video, and in your mind, in reacting to the video, you said it was giving sabotage. But you see, I've seen so many people in the space say, oh, you were one of the people that threw light on the fact that there was a show clash and stuff. But I want to burst your bubble and tell you that you see the word sabotage that came into this conversation. You were not the one who implanted that particular word into this conversation. Unless maybe you would want to prove me wrong and I would need data and statistics. What I'm about to say to this particular statement is out there, and if you want to check, you can go and check. From the beginning of this conversation, there were fans or fanatics or close affiliates of Stonebwoy and his camp calling sabotage. And even before you made that particular video, a fan went to ask Stonebwoy, we've seen a show clash with your show in London come March 8. Are you pulling out or you're still doing it? And his answer was, we are still doing it, but the sabotage story will be told later. So you see, it is not so surprising that as a media person or a content creator who is also reacting, unfortunately, your mind was set on a certain direction already. So the word sabotage came to you naturally. So in that aspect, you think the other people or people from the other side, that is Alodia and his team, would also sit down for some people to propagate a certain agenda and call them saboteurs? Obviously, they will clap back. And that is what came from somebody like West Coast UK. I'm talking about Emilio. So you see where the whole conversations started from. And even with that, I'm sure if the beginning of this conversation, there was a certain direction to it, because me, the moment I saw Stonebwoy announce his date as 8th of March, I was waiting for the Independence concert, because as far as me, I know in this industry, that concert has been happening for so many years. So I was just waiting for the day, and lo and behold, it was the same day. The first thing that came to my mind was, okay, Ghana's independence takes over London on the 8th of March. Or Ghana's independence, or we are painting the whole of London with the Ghanaian flag. That is what came to my mind. But unfortunately, some people had a different direction to it. It was hammered, it was trumpeted. By who? Of course, people in the media. So your call there, it is a very good call that I support, with 100 bags of Jata cement mixed with Dangote. But then, I believe that as much as you may want to go at the fans, some of the conversations you may not have control over. But then, some people that I am concerned about are my own colleagues in the space. Because if, yes, a fans may spew some form of ignorance because they are not close to action. They are not close to these artists. They don't know what they go through. They don't know how they pull off some of these things. And so if we want to trumpet the same ignorance that they are doing, then of course this thing is never going to end. And like I said earlier, the other party may also feel that at a point they also have a right to do it. Let me give you another example before I say goodbye. The other one was when Shatta was going for the show, that is Vybz Kartel's Freedom Street concert in Jamaica. Right before he even left to Jamaica, or when he was in America, that was when his colleague Stonebwoy was in a media rant, calling him a certain man, calling him a curtain raiser, and stuff, which were all lies, of course. But then, shockingly, the conversations that came after these utterances were, oh, Shatta the so yebi, mon fan. But if Shatta does the same thing, the headlines would be different. Shatta talks down on his colleagues. Shatta runs his colleagues down. So at the end of the day, when he went to Jamaica, did that historic performance, the wins that came with it, you saw what his people did or used that particular win to do to the other people. They gave it to them. Am I proud of it? Of course not. Because I believe aside the celebration of that particular win, a lot would have gone into it that would have taken that particular win a notch higher. But we had a division, of which even the people that are supposed to celebrate the win, some of them were even using it as a weapon of mass destruction onto the others that did not believe in them. So yes, I agree and I support whatever call you are making. Because at the end of the day, if an artist wins out there, it still comes back to the name of Ghana. When an artist loses, it is the same thing that may come back to bite us in the ass as Ghanaians. Because yes, we sit on platforms and we compare ourselves to other people or other nationals, especially our cousins in Nigeria. And you should see the kind of comments they come to us with. Oh, your artist cannot even fill beer parlor. Your artist cannot do this, cannot do that. Are we proud of it? No, we are not. But then, if as media people or as important stakeholders in this industry, we see the need not to be fanatics or not to join that fanatic wagon, I believe we will be able to do much to help uplift whatever agenda we want to. Because Charlie, Stonebwoy is going on tour. I think he will be wrapping up his tour very soon. That is the winter one, and will be also preparing for the summer. King Promise is also going on tour. Shatta is scheduled to be in London in May. And even from now to, I think, October, we have about 8 or 9 Ghanaian artists that are set, from the likes of Amachi Dede to Kenata to your friend saying Kojo Black, them all, per my information, are scheduled to be in London to host their own concerts. Is that how we are going to react to them? If you belong to that side, it is painful. I always say that when you are the receiving end of these treatments, it is very painful. But then, as much as you would want to talk to the artist and talk to the fans, I believe some of our colleagues also share the blame. And I also believe we can do better. For the artists there, you can't predict them. I remember when Shatta was in London some time ago, I think for Medical's concert, of which after he went to Grace Daddy Lumbe's show, I think 2 days after or the following day. After, some people even wanted to compare him to Daddy Lumba. At once, he came out to say, hey, stop. Me and Daddy Lumba, we know, see, don't do that mistake. But then, some people will sit down, knowing in their hearts of hearts that these people are ignorantly comparing him to, let's say, Shatta or somebody else, or using whatever he's doing to insult him. And when he decides to clap back, then we come and say, oh, Shatta Wale is talking down on his fellow artist. Shatta Wale is doing this, he's doing that. Bro, I understand. In this industry, most of the things that we do stems from emotions, and it is understandable. So as much as your advice is going to the artist, like I said, I support. To the fans and fanatics, I support. But then, to our media people or some of our colleagues in the industry, I believe we can also do better in terms of the message that we send from the right to the left and vice versa. But you watching, I don't know what you make of Ohemaa Asante's call, my support, and even the problem in the industry as Ghanaians. Share your views in the comment section. Let me hear from you. Until then, thanks to you for spending time with me. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.
The matter chop hot. Assembly Diloto. Hey! Aye! Hey!